When I was younger, I never really looked for new games. I basically played whatever's in front of me. My parents were given an SNES when I was really young, a PS1, then later bought me a GameCube for Christmas one year. It wasn't until one day my parents were visiting some friends of ours, and I went downstairs because I heard they were playing video games. And that's when I saw them playing a game simply called Kingdom Hearts. I still remember the cutscene I was playing when I walked down. It was the cutscene right before Captain Hook fight. Then I saw the gameplay of them all flying around fighting monsters in the sky, and I was blown away. I never seen anything like that. Because I only ever played games like Mario, Sonic, Donkey Kong Country, and Spyro. And when they finally let me play it, I just knew I had to get it. So I went to GameStop after trading in my GameCube, all of my GameCube games, and I got a PS2, one of the big old bulky ones, not one of the sleek ones, you know, because that one was cheaper, and a copy of Kingdom Hearts. And so began my journey into the world of Kingdom Hearts. For better or for worse, depending on your opinion on the series. And with Kingdom Hearts 3 coming out soon, I figured now would be a good time as any to look back at the series from its beginning to where we are now. So join me as we take a look into Kingdom Hearts. I'm not going to go too in-depth with the history because I feel like it's stuff that's pretty common knowledge. Like, you know, that old tidbit everybody does. It's like Mario 2 USA in Japan is Doki Doki Panic. It's stuff like that. It's kind of mostly common knowledge, honestly. But Kingdom Hearts is a Disney and Final Fantasy crossover that came out in 2002 and is directed by Tetsuya Nomura, who is a character slash monster designer from Final Fantasy. When I first played this game, I had no idea what Final Fantasy even was, so one of the things that drew me in was the Disney part. I was a big Disney fan growing up, but I still enjoy Disney stuff. Like, I loved all the old Disney shows, the Disney movies and stuff like that, so you know, that also helped me get more interested into the game and everything. I'm going to play in the Kingdom Hearts 1.5 plus 2.5 collection for PS4 for most of these videos. These include the final mix versions of these games, which includes new cutscenes, new weapons, new bosses, recolors some of the enemies, and the music for Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 completely redone, which we didn't get over in America until the PS3 collections close 10 years later, which wouldn't have been so bad if the new cutscenes didn't have integral plot information that was important to the series. Which, you know, that might be helpful to have, you know, whatever. But anyway, let's get into the game. As the title screen loads up, the song Dearly Beloved plays, and it's one of my favorite songs, period, not just from video games. It fills me with so many different emotions, and I'm always just hit with like a wall of nostalgia anytime I hear it. Speaking of the soundtrack, I'm of course going to talk about the soundtrack. It's like one of the best things about this like entire series, let alone this game. The composer, Yoko Shimomura, did an amazing job capturing like the Disney themes. And of course all the original songs that come from this game. When you start a new game, you can pick a difficulty you want. In the original, there are only 2, but here there's 3. And once you pick the difficulty, the game begins the FMV with the song Simple and Clean by Urata Hikaru, which I cannot play due to copyright reasons. And after that, the game opens up on a stained glass platform of Snow White. This section of the game serves as the tutorial. Here you can pick between a sword, shield, and a wand, and what you choose here affects your starting stats and what order you learn abilities in. And the next platform gives a taste of combat. You can lock on with the R1 button and attack with the X button. We then find ourselves being asked various questions, and I didn't find this out till years later, but these questions affect how fast you level up. If you pick the top answers, you'll level up from level 50 to 100 faster, but from level 1 to 50, you'll level up slower. And then you pick the bottom line, it's reversed. And if you pick the middle lines, it makes it so that you level up evenly throughout the whole entire game. I didn't know this for the longest time, so I just kind of answered the questions whatever I wanted, I guess. So, good to know now, I guess. We make it to the last platform. We must face ourself after a really bad hair day, and is 20 feet tall, and is in emo phase, and can summon creatures from his hand. Okay, I guess. We are then consumed by the darkness, but it turns out it was just a dream, and we are officially introduced to our main character, whose name's Sora, and his 2 friends, Kairi and Riku.
I guess I'm the only one working on the raft.
They all live on Destiny Island where they spend their days beating each other with wooden swords, volleyballs, and jump ropes. I'm surprised they don't have brain damage, although Sora might. That it's entirely possible. We'll get back to that later. They're all working on a raft together because they want to see what's outside their island, especially Riku, which worries Kairi, who jokingly suggests that just her and Sora go. Meanwhile, in Disneyland, it's discovered that King Mickey has left the castle in order to discover what is happening to all the other worlds and tells Donald and Goofy to go and search for the key bearer. And back on the island, a mysterious storm starts brewing and Sora goes to investigate.
Sora! Dinner's ready! Come on down! Sora?
And we never see her again, so she's probably dead. The creatures from Sora's dream begin appearing on the island as he finds Riku, who's being dragged away into a dark portal, and Sora tries to reach out, but he disappears, and Sora has left the weapon called the Keyblade, and with this he can actually fight the creatures. He makes his way to Kairi, who flies into him and disappears as he tries to grab her. Then you fight the giant monster from your dream again, and he's flung into a giant black hole in the sky, where he's teleported into a place called Traverse Town, where Donald and Goofy are looking for a man named Leon. And Sora, after being woken up by Pluto, wanders around the town asking for answers. Man, I am lost. Maybe this guy can help me. How did the— okay, Dad, why would that's uncalled for? Why would you do that? Sure. Oh no. That was Leon, aka Squall from Final Fantasy VIII, who beats Sora so bad that he hallucinates that Yuffie from Final Fantasy VII is Kairi. Okay, now he definitely has brain damage. Thanks, Leon. You're the best. You get a gold star. There you go. You deserved it. You do the best. Do the best. And this time, Aerith/Eris, which one is it? I don't know, from Final Fantasy VII, meets up with Donald and Goofy, and they're all told by the creatures they've been fighting are called Heartless, and they come into existence whenever somebody loses their heart to the darkness, and the man who is responsible for releasing the Heartless is a man named Ansem. He once researched the Heartless and released the Heartless onto the world, and the only thing that could stop the Heartless is the Keyblade, which is why the Heartless have been chasing. They're attacked again by the Heartless, forcing them to run, causing Sora, Donald, and Goofy to meet up, and they fight a giant Heartless. And after defeating it, Sora agrees to travel with Donald and Goofy, go to the other world in search of his friends and King Mickey. Meanwhile, they're all being watched by mysterious figures that are shrouded in shadow. And they're clearly not Disney villains. Nope, not at all. I don't know what you're talking about. Is that Maleficent? I don't know what Maleficent is. I don't, you know. Moving on. And with that, our journey begins. We are given our first spell from Donald. You'll see multitude of spells throughout your journey. Fire, which shoots out a fireball. Blizzard, which shoots out a barrage of ice. Thunder, which shoots lightning, get your mind around that. Arrow, which puts up a barrier of wind that increases your defense or a party member's defense. And Gravity, which pins enemies to the ground. Cure, which heals you and your party members. And of course, and Goofy gives you the dodge roll, which is an ability you can equip by using ability points. As you level up, you unlock more abilities which can affect your combat abilities, affect what items enemy drops, and limits that can consume your magic but do a lot of damage. And the way you travel to different worlds is with the Gummy Ship, which in my opinion is one of the weakest aspects of the game, especially in the beginning. In order to unlock a world, you have to go through an on-rail shooting section, and it's really slow. They only take a few minutes to complete, but it feels like they're forever, and they're not even that hard. You can literally tape the button down and go make a sandwich and come back and you'll be fine. You can also build your own Gummy Ship at parts you find, which I never do because the interface here is awful. I just have no idea what I'm doing the whole entire time. It just gives me a headache, so I've never, all my years of playing this game, never bothered with it. And whenever you want to go back to a previous world, you have to go to the ship section again. And if you want to go to the world that's on the opposite side of the map, you have to manually go through at least 2 ship sections to get to it. It's really annoying. And you're stuck doing this to get a new gummy installed in your ship, which you get to beat in the first 4 worlds. Speaking of worlds, this game has a total of 12 worlds, not including Destiny Island and the tutorial area. 9 are based on Disney worlds, and these include Alice in Wonderland, Tarzan, Hercules, Aladdin, Pinocchio, The Little Mermaid, Nightmare Before Christmas, and Peter Pan. It also has 3 original worlds, Traverse Town, Hollow Bastion, and the End of the World. Yeah, I'm not gonna bother covering the stories in these worlds, because basically, they're just like abridged versions of the Disney movies they're based on, so there's no real point in recapping those. They don't affect the overall plot for the most part. And like the only thing that's thrown in there is like them looking for King Mickey and Sora's friends. On their second visit to Traverse Town, they run into Riku, who does the good old character trope of seeing his friend, having friends beside him, and thinking that he doesn't like him anymore.
Saw you hanging out with Caitlin yesterday.
Rebecca, it's not what you think.
I won't hesitate, bitch.
Man, I hate Riku in this game. He gets much better as the series goes on, but here he's almost insufferable. He's constantly whining about Sora, doesn't care about him and Kairi, even though that's the one of the reasons he's on this journey. He's apparently teamed up with Maleficent from Sleeping Beauty and is helping her get the 7 Princesses of Heart, and he's also found Kairi, who's apparently lost her heart and has basically been left in a coma at this point. Riku then takes her to Maleficent's lair, Hollow Bastion, with Sora and friends following shortly after, where they run into Riku, who just beat the Beast from Beauty and the Beast. And he takes the Keyblade from Sora. Ha! Suck it, you got a downgrade. Suck it, Riku. Suck it. Apparently the Keyblade was originally supposed to go to Riku, but Sora ended up taking it because in that moment Riku was overflowing with darkness. And because the king told them to follow the Keybearer, they just ditched Sora like immediately. Great. Not only does Donald not heal me, he ditches me too. Great. Guess who's uninvited for my birthday party, jerk? That's you. So for this section you have to rely on your magic and beast. It's actually a pretty cool section, it makes you change how you think about combat. Sora runs into Riku again, and Donald and Goofy switch sides again. Oh man, these guys are the best, betraying their friend at one moment, betraying their king at another moment. They're really just like the bestest of friends. Sora then reclaims the Keyblade and beats Riku and runs off into a mysterious man in a cloak who showed up at the beginning of the game, which I forgot to mention, but whatever, moving on, who tells him to fully open his paw to the power of darkness. Sora and the gang meet and also beat Maleficent, who runs off and runs into Riku, sounding a bit different from last time.
Do you need some help?
Puberty is weird. You stabs Maleficent with the Keyblade that can unlock hearts, and she turns to a dragon. You defeat her, and you finally find Kairi, and it's revealed that Ansem has possessed Riku, and that Kairi is the 7th princess needed to unlock the keyhole that leads to Kingdom Hearts. And that her heart has been with Sora the whole time, and the only way to complete the keyhole is to free Kairi's heart, and he attacks Sora. I despise this cutscene for one reason only. In the original Kingdom Hearts, you couldn't skip cutscenes, so anytime you die, you have to watch them over and over and over and over again. When I first played this game, I died I don't know how many times to him. It would get to the point where I memorized the lines and I mockingly repeat the lines at them. After defeating him, the keyhole starts to freak out, and the only way to stop it is to finish it. So Sora makes the ultimate sacrifice and uses Riku's Keyblade on himself, freeing Kairi's heart. But he also loses his heart in the process, turning him into a Heartless. But reuniting with Kairi turns it back into normal. They escape Hollow Bastion and return to Traverse Town. They soon find out that Keyhole, being finished, has unleashed tons of Heartless all over the worlds. So they return to Hollow Bastion to seal the Keyhole and chase Ansem to the final world, called End of the World. It's what's left of the world destroyed by the Heartless. And this world is a freaking gauntlet. It's basically just room after room of Heartless, which makes sense because it is a Heartless world, but the room before the final boss, oh man, I must have died at least 10 times. But after all that, you finally come face to face with Ansem, and this boss fight is pretty difficult. It's a good old-fashioned multi-phase boss fight, starting on the beaches of Destiny Island, ending outside Kingdom Hearts itself. And after defeating Ansem, he tries to open Kingdom Hearts, but he's destroyed after Sora claims that it's light, not darkness, and that works apparently. I still don't know how it works, but it just does, I guess. With the help of Riku and King Mickey, they seal the door to darkness, and Kairi's there for some reason.
Kairi! Remember what you said before? I'm always with you too. I'll come back to you. I promise. I know you will! You walk away, you...
The worlds are returned to normal, and Sora, Donald, and Goofy are transported to a random field. We see Pluto with an envelope with the King seal on it, and they give chase, ending the game. The story, at least in this game, is pretty simple, and it works pretty well here. Although, with all that being said, there are a few aspects of the game that didn't age all that well, such as the combat. It feels kind of stiff in this game. There's only a few moves you can add to your combo, but thankfully Magic does a decent job to alleviate that. You also have your teammates, who aren't great, to put it lightly. Your party consists of 3 party members: Sora, and either Donald or Goofy, or one of the Disney characters that you can have in your party. This only happens in a certain world, and you can have people like Aladdin or Beast in your party, so they can die every 10 seconds instead of Donald. Thank you, it's the best! Another thing that didn't age that well with this game was the platforming. It's really stiff, and the game wants you to do a lot of it. It just doesn't work that well in this game. The jumping's pretty clunky, platforms be kind of iffy, so it's something that you have to do in the game, which is just kind of annoying. But it's not like god-awful. It still works. Kind of. Sort of. Not really. One of the more annoying things in the game is that in order to interact with anything like treasure chest or objects, solve puzzles, you have to make sure there are no enemies around, which isn't too bad, except for silver areas such as Atlantica, where you have to interact with the dolphin in order to ride it to progress the level, and enemies just keep spawning, and pairing that with the awful swimming controls, they make it really annoying. And speaking of the swimming and flying controls, they aren't great. Use a square button to go down and a circle button to go up, and it's pretty cumbersome, and paired that with combat, oh boy, it's a blast. Of pain and suffering right up my spine. But these annoyances don't detract too much from the final product, and all in all, this is a good first attempt. It just needs some refinement, which is what they did for the sequel. So please join me as I take a look into Kingdom Hearts Wait. What do you mean there was a Game Boy Advance game that was remade for the PlayStation 2? And it takes place for Kingdom Hearts 2 and it's canon? Oh. Well, what have I started? Oh well, so I guess next time look at Chain of Memories. Apparently. Wait, it has what in it? It has card games in it? Oh. Oh no. What have I done? Why hello there, thank you very much for watching this video, and yep, this is my first video into the Kingdom Hearts series. This is going to be a long one, as you can probably tell if you're familiar at all with the series, but you know, it'll be a good time. And if you want to see more of these videos, click that subscribe button because I'll be making more soon. I'm not really sure when, because you know, I have work and all that stuff. It took me a while to get this one out, wish I got it out sooner, but you know, it happens. And hey, if you want to see more, you can check out my Dark Cloud 1 or 2 videos. Or you can also check out a playthrough I'm doing of Dark Souls with a couple of friends of mine in our Dark Souls Prepare Not to Die edition. And until then, have a good one.